things that President, do you have that video? Because Riley Gaines, the wonderful Riley Gaines, posted a video online and looking wonderful.
Sit upright
very well, unlike any
so that
and
the mind becomes quiet.
Trump weekend pretty well.
You want to know what Donald Trump did this weekend? Just
This way,
Donald Trump mediated a peace
the
deal
organism,
Pakistan stopping a
the body-mind,
He brokered an in-person meeting between Russia and Ukraine. He announced a new trade deal between the U.S. and China. He ended big pharma U.S. profiteering by slicing prescription drug prices by up to 80%. And he made progress on the release of the final American hostage from the terrorist organization that is Hamas in Gaza. All in the past 48 hours. I'm convinced he just doesn't sleep.
And what did Joe Biden do in 4 years? Oh, well, he got the Ukraine-Russia war going, increased hostilities between India and
there is a problem. I don't see any problem.
opened our borders so that gang members could flow in by the hundreds.
You are listening?
Illegals by the millions and millions.
Oh,
They're not on our side. I've heard that somewhere before. They're not on our side, and boy, are they not.
but as of now, you are able to listen.
Not
Yeah.
the party of good. They are the party of after-school Satan club, though. That's why they're going after the Pope's brother here. And the news media, they're all over it. Going after the Pope's brother because it turns out he's not a leftist, commie, pinko, savage, warmongering, organ harvesting, lion sack.
Okay.
Is it okay to say that he's a lion?
As you sit upright,
And in the meantime, a judge
the organism, the body-mind,
from laying off federal employees
helps
because you're the president of the United States doesn't mean you're the boss of anybody.
in rising above itself.
A judge out there.
That is the idea of sitting upright.
There are hundreds of presidents of the United States. They're judges. And interestingly,
We are not trying to accomplish anything in particular
and the Politico attacking him
by a
led
given
by Greg
posture, like sitting
Trump is already
upright.
obsessed with the midterms. That's another case of projection. That means that
This is nothing like yoga samadhi or any such thing.
let me just translate this from liberal to English for you.
Just we keep the organism,
Trump
the body
announces
mind,
India, Pakistan
in good
ceasefire
shape.
agreement. Oh no, that's not
That
the
it is
Washington
sitting
Post.
upright.
That can't be in favor of that.
So that
In fact, the lead story on the front page of the Washington Post today is
I can rise above the
Trump leaves for
organism
Saudi Arabia this morning. In fact, in the next hour and a half or so,
and remain
flies
as the
cruise for Saudi Arabia.
dṛśyaṃ,
He's going to have meetings in the Middle East with the Middle East people. But their headline in the Washington Post:
the Sakshi, if you will.
His business 4-day trip aims to cement trade ties. Oh no, trade for the United States, America? Private ventures blurred with foreign policy goals. This is where they start accusing him of profiteering from being president. They never had this when Joe Biden's family was raking in millions and millions.
Be aware of the surroundings.
And he lied to us that Hunter Biden was not having any business meetings in China. And we later learned that he was lying in the Washington Post.
We can easily do that,
Because they're not
even while
business.
keeping the eyes
They're
closed.
the Democrat fluffer business. Their tongues must be awful, don't you think?
Aware of
Amazing stuff. So
the
Pakistan
hall in
ceasefire,
which
that's good, and that's kind of
we are all sitting,
versus peace, and
the chairs and the people.
signs of normalcy after weekend ceasefire. Yeah, because war is bad, and
So all of that becomes dṛśyaṃ.
the Washington Post over the weekend with a crazy story. China wood. That's like a knockoff of a Beatles song, Norwegian wood. China wood.
Now,
Trump used pencils to sell
drop all of
tariffs.
that
He used pencils to sell tariffs. Can he help
and be aware of
last factory?
the body.
And they went to a pencil factory and they found an employee who said, God, it's better
That is very simple. It doesn't require any effort.
to get it from the United States and from Canada because they got a lot of wood up there,
Dropping the world from consciousness.
US and China have hammered out trade deal. There's another story mentioned.
It is the simplest of the things.
US and China hammered out
It
trade
doesn't
deal.
require any
The
effort.
representative says that's kind of a big deal. And in Trump, I love this, I went and I got this story from
And then be aware of the body.
Trump, in a major concession, says the tariffs on China should be 80%, but we'll leave it up to Besant.
Body becomes an entity or a thing, appears to be a thing,
This is not journalism, this is politics.
only when I am aware of it.
They're not on our side. So President Trump making peace all over the place and striking trade deals with China.
When I am not aware of the body, say for example,
Tax him for it. Isn't that amazing?
it is as good as non-existent.
Amazing stuff. Also, the president, is he getting a new 747?
That is one point which is worth contemplating upon.
And he's headed to the region there today.
Meaning,
747, a big
the
old
body appears
747 that Qatar is
only
offering
when
President Trump because Boeing
I am aware of
is
it.
getting the new Air Force Ones online, and Qatar saw this in the paper.
In other words,
They have internet over there now.
body
Hey, we got a
is body
over here.
only when I am aware of it as
Looking
the
bad
body.
at the moment. But we've got, and then the Democrats storming violently.
That is the dṛśyaṃ. Body is the dṛśyaṃ.
Want to break out gang members and set them loose on the American people because the Democrat Party, they're a pack of animals and they're not on our side.
Normally, we should be able to drop body from the field of awareness. When the body is in pain, it becomes difficult to drop it from the field of awareness. The body in pain holds the awareness back. So please note that. So now I am aware of the body.
But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s.
And also I am aware of the actions in the body.
Hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-859-1518.
At present, there are not any particular actions in the body, but generally there is the act of walking in the body, act of holding to things through hands, again in the body. The speech is also an action in the body. Body is the locus of these actions. Therefore, I am aware of the body, and also I am aware of these movements in the body.
They're the #1 precious metals company in America, and they can help you secure your retirement with physical gold and silver. To get started, just call 800-324-9902.
All of that becomes dṛśyaṃ in the light of awareness.
Don't wait. This threat is real. Call 800-324-9902. Now again, that's 800-324-9902. Call right now and get your free gold
Now
investment guide today.
I am aware of the mind.
Gold.com. Past performance may vary. Always consult with a tax and financial professional.
Some big news. Iran is threatening to wipe
This
Israel
is
off the map
critical.
and destroy America. Now, UN inspectors say Iran is close to getting nuclear weapons, just weeks away.
You have to understand that mind is a flow.
He's even moved 2 aircraft carriers to the area. This is a big story, and Newsmax's Rob Finnerty is covering it all.
And the flow has
exposing
content.
the real threat. Tune in at
Some
8 p.m.
content
Eastern
is there
tonight
in that
for
flow.
Rob's series, Stop Iran, and find out
A constant flow
to fix this.
with a lot of
Finnerty on Newsmax
content.
on all major
That is the
cable
mind.
systems. President Trump says he watches Newsmax all the
And I am
time.
aware of
You
the
should
mind.
too. So download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and sign up for Newsmax Plus to watch us anytime, anywhere.
So pay attention to that.
Switch to Newsmax because it's real.
Am I aware of the mind or am I identifying with the mind?
What happened?
happens in the interest rate markets affects stock markets and vice versa.
If you identify with the mind,
All the
that is not
outside interference
meditation.
affects things also. So we look at both sides. The one thing I love is he knows his business and he knows it very well and he's serious.
If you are aware of the mind,
That sometimes is not so serious.
Hey, Steve Gurich here. Tune in our daily retirement workshops at 8, 11, and 5.
understanding that the mind is but a flow, having a content,
Works for all of Arizona. Hands-on training, real-world skills. High school students become job-ready, and Arizona
and be aware of the mind without any judgment,
skilled workforce.
any condemnation,
But with Pima JTED
and also any control.
join the businesses already
Just be aware.
Arizona's future. Learn more at pimajted.org. That's pimajted.org.
That is how we establish the mind as dṛśyaṃ.
Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after throne riders. This seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get
That is the height of viveka. You have reached the zenith of viveka, the discrimination. As you fix the mind in its place as a dṛśyaṃ,
Back in my day, I invented over 1,700
a flow
bedazzled and my personal favorite.
with a content. That is the dṛśyaṃ.
Like yeet, oboshi, or
This is fire.
And I am aware of the mind.
okay, boomer. See what I mean? Well, there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe. The first time you try it, so lit. I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So
Now I have withdrawn the mind, the awareness, the light of awareness from the things around, from the world, from the body,
Coming up today.
from the actions in the body also,
Members of Congress attacking police.
and finally from the mind, the flow with its content.
All over again, but but a little bit different, a little twist, because now the elected Democrats are. I've got that coming up. They're mental and they're violent.
Now I am just aware
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
of my own being.
Just want to let you know, I just discovered your show about a month ago. I've been looking for a replacement since the great Maharishi is
To put it in other words, I am aware that I am.
and I like to watch everybody's head turn when I'm playing it.
I am aware of
Thank you for doing the Lord's work.
my own being.
Yeah, I wanna send him a 12-pack, and I wanna hang out with him. There's no doubt about it. Hey, he's
That
got
is
a sense of
meditation.
humor, he knows what's right and wrong. And one of his brothers just retired as the principal of a Catholic school.
You may notice that
So the way kind of a bummer for the kid
you are aware of
that he's not still
everything else except your own being
the Pope's brother.
in life.
That'd be pretty good.
My daughter's in 10th grade. And
I have to correct that situation.
not even Catholic.
Well, Catholic schools are welcoming to everyone.
By being aware of
Part of the state here, and
my own being.
everything like that. The local affiliate is KFAY.
Dropping everything else from the field of awareness,
Found that station. I remember it when I was a kid, but I've forgotten that it was on.
I arrive at
And I found it, and that's how I came across it.
Voice off.
Well, thank you very kindly.
my own being.
Very nice words, and I'm glad
I am aware of my
KFAY
own
is
being.
part of your life again. And that's why, the Democrats are trying to do away with AM radio. This is how sinister these people are.
Voice on.
That is the druk. Do not confuse that the being is dṛśya. It is not. It is druk only. I'm aware of my own being.
Are you paying too much?
USA Radio News, I'm Jim Bernal.
Dṛśyaṃ,
Tornadoes that ripped across the century.
which is same as ahamasmi.
At least 18 deaths have been confirmed in Kentucky, where tornadoes left a trail of destruction across two counties. Governor Andy Beshear says the death toll will rise over the next few days as the search continues through the wreckage. In Missouri,
Relax.
died in the St. Louis area, and over 30 people were injured, and the crews are...
Sit at ease.
Two storm-related deaths were also reported in Virginia. Major ice cream brands are...
And open the eyes slowly.
...frozen yogurt due to possible plastic contamination. The FDA has categorized the recall as Class 2.
Good, we managed the meditation. Some disturbance is coming from here. Can we not put it off? I mean, if you put it off, the entire speaker itself is put off. Huh? Okay, I understand. Means it is contributing something. Yeah. It is recorded somewhere inside it. Some radio signal it is catching. Yeah, I understand. You take your time. Don't hurry. No, don't worry. Take easy. We can delay our lunch by a few minutes, not a problem.
And for you, that is simple, virtually maintenance-free, and comes with a lifetime guarantee.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. 480-902-3333. 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims-paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve. 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
It's back. The third annual Fire and Fairways Charity Golf Tournament presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is Monday, June 2nd at Biltmore Golf Club. This year supporting Alice Cooper Solid Rock Teen Centers. Early entry is just $175. Includes goodie bag, raffle tickets. Plus,
now it is good.
Celebration, lunch buffet, and drinks at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. You don't golf? Well, then join us at the celebration for just $75. Sign up today. Go to KasaiFireandFairways.com. That's KasaiFireandFairways.com.
Everybody, Mark Asher, back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. As most of you might know, I'm a big fan
No,
of
it is okay.
and longevity.
Comfortable.
I love companies based right here in Arizona that have been around doing some great things for a long, long time. And oh boy, has the Lund Mortgage Team done just that. In the mortgage game, they're one of the best. In fact, I think they are the best. And I've been telling people about the Lund Mortgage Team for decades now, and I'll continue to do that as long as they continue to take... $99.40. Look, the Lund Mortgage Team, they're mortgage brokers. That gives them the unique opportunity to shop your rate around. They've also been in business so long, they realize fees are not the most important thing. They keep those nice and low. Call today, 623-875-9940, whether it's a HELOC, whether it's a new home loan, refinance, you name it, they've got you covered. LundMortgage.com or call 623-875-9940.
breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. TNC supply available in app only.
The Democrat Party.
That's how we solve.
Good.
Solve the radio interference by not.
Yeah.
That's how we'll do it for now.
For now, this app connecting to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. It's radio interference in the AC, so I unplugged it. It's on battery. We'll be good. We just have to plug it in.
Can you plug it in back? Because I did the Bluetooth at the same time.
We disconnected the Bluetooth.
We did
Governor
two things at the same
in
time.
Pennsylvania. That was a one-day story for the news media.
Om.
That's
Om.
Now it's off.
Good.
It's a switch that's, it's a plug-in that's making
It's the radio interference in the AC. So we're fine. We'll just
Fine, we are fine. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smriti Puranānāmalayam Namāme Bhagavatpada Shankaram Loka Shankaram ātmanyevākhilaṃ dṛśyaṃ pravilāpya dhiyā sudhīḥ bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ nirmalākāśavatsadā. First half we finished yesterday, second half we finished today morning in the meditation. It is like that. That is what we have done. You see, the Atma is there. Atma is the light, inner light. Take it like that. That light, if it is not associated with gunas, nirguna, in itself, it is light, not connected with any gunas. Therefore it is nirguna. It is not nirguna. We say it is nirguna, only keeping a context in which it is saguna. Saguna, what we call situational. And so, gunas are three. Guna is a technical word, it is three. What are the three gunas? Knowing things. That is, there is a division already came. The knower-known division came. In knowing things, the knower-known division has come. That is sattva guna. Doing things. In doing things, doer done, karta, karma. Doer done, duality has come. And then in the inertness of the things are inert, you know, the inertness of the things, that is the tamo guna. So when the inner light is are connected to or associated, let us say associated with these three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo gunas, that becomes a saguna. Now there is a duality. There is the thing, knowing of things, doing the things, and then the things, including the body, all that is there. So suppose you withdraw all this, remove the gunas, then the pure light of awareness, that inner light, which alone is, that is the being, which alone is, that is the truth, that is the Atma, that is the self. So that self, in simple words, I call it, you see, don't pull the words left and right, okay? In simple words, I call it that is unmanifest. Because it is not, the moment it is associated with gunas, so much of manifestation is coming, let us say unmanifest. And also actionless, inactive, if I wanted to say inactive, which I mean it is actionless. It is not inert, actionless. That is the self, that is the Atma. And in that There is no duality. Duality comes only the manifestation, the so-called manifestation and activity, the duality comes. Once there is no manifestation and activity in nirguna and nishkriya, that is also we say, in that situation, which is the real Atma, it is called Advaya. Ekam Atmanam. Ekam is one without the second, and also that Eka eti vyapnoti iti Ekam. Therefore, in the knower known, the Atma alone is pervading and interpenetrating. It is in the knower as well as the known, pervading and interpenetrating. In doing and done also it is there. In the so-called things also it is there. And therefore, it is there, that's why it is called Ekam, eti, vyapnoti, pervading and interpenetrating. And it alone is Advaya. Ekam, it alone is Advaya. And that Advaya Atma bhavayet. Bhavayet means contemplate. Now, how will you contemplate? Suppose you contemplate it as the other. I am contemplating upon the Atman. In doing so, you made it the other. Therefore, that is not contemplation. That again you have created duality. Means what you have done? You have shifted yourself away from it. And instead of merging in it, you separated yourself away from it and say you are contemplating upon it. And that is the Dvaita. In separating yourself from it, you become the small one and keep it as the big one. I am the small, that is the big. That is how the separation happens. The separation can also be called the otherization. You make it the other by making yourself the other. Ikaranam. So, don't do that mistake. That is wrong. This Dvaita is wrong. You don't separate yourself. Why do you want to separate? To retain your identity. That's what it is. You want to retain your identity. This is also part and parcel of ajnana. You want to get rid of ajnana, but you want to retain yourself as the one who got rid of ajnana. This is and declare to the world that I am jnani. So don't do that mistake. Here comes the criticality of Advaita. Here you get rid of ajnana and also get rid of the one who got rid of ajnana. Tyaja dharmam adharmancha ubhe satyanurute tyaja ubhe satyanurute tyaktva yena tyajasi tat tyaja. Okay, that by which all this renunciation happened, by which means that becomes the karta. Karta trutiya. Okay. So, yena tyajasi, or yena can be karanam. The ahankara, the one which gives up, give up that also. The idea is don't remain separate from it. If you carefully examine, why do you want to remain separate from it? Because somehow the ajnana is still manifesting as a kind of attachment to the small self. You are able to give up the attachment to the world, but still you retain the attachment to the small self. Like a Vaidika is there. He is able to give up the attachment to this world, but he cannot give up attachment to the other world. That is how the religions flourish. So in the religions, they advise us, give up this world. Every religion says that. Don't run after the pleasures of the world. Don't get caught in the pleasures of the world. Good. So then what should I do? you should seek the other world. And then what will be there in the other world? Again the same pleasures will be there. But not exactly the same, somewhat better pleasures will be there. That means your attachment to the pleasure is not given up. So that is how the dualistic religions operate. And then some of this you find in the Advaita also. Same. You see, Murphy's law, if something has the possibility of going wrong, it will go wrong. And so possibility to make a mistake means they make the mistake. That is how the egotism operates. It doesn't want to vanish. Ego has to vanish. It doesn't want to vanish. You push it away in this direction, it enters from behind. Therefore, there comes the final obstacle, bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. You have to allow yourself to vanish. You have to vanish yourself. Khud khuda, in the language of the Sufi saints, khud khuda. If you want khuda, give up khud. If you keep khud, khuda will not come near you. Okay? Therefore, if you want to keep the small self, the real self, you lose it. If you don't want to keep the small self, the real self is already with you. That is the way you have to understand bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. Because dṛśya or dṛśya, subject object. So, and both subject and object are manifestations, are appearances in the same light. It is like in the movie, both hero and heroine appear in the same light. Or you can say hero and the villain appear in the same light. Therefore, so on the movie screen, you can say hero, villain. But when you observe the light, who is hero and who is villain? Similarly, here, when you abide as the pure dṛk, who is inside and who is outside? Who is the drashta inside and what is the dṛśya outside? So, the drashta and dṛśya, the subject-object duality, so long as you allow that appearance to continue. So, under this appearance of the subject and object, to whom they appear? Who is that? To whom the subject and object appear? Subject is the mind, object is the world, right? Who is it? To whom both the object and subject appear? You raise that question. You have arrived at the true self, right? And now, once you arrive at the true self, the subject-object duality vanishes. Because it is merely an appearance, that is what we call the mithya. Okay? And in vanishing, two ways it can be presented. Both subject and object appear together and they vanish together in the light from which they appeared in the first place. Then Ramana Maharshi made it a little more, made it simpler. Allow the object to vanish in the subject, and then subject vanishes in the pure light. You can follow a small path. And the pure subject you have to take, not the ego. And that pure subject is I am. So allow the object to vanish and abide as the I am, and see what happens. The I am also vanishes in that light. I am won't stand there as a subject, because I am is the subject only when there is object. And when the object is allowed to vanish, I am as the subject also vanishes. This is what we call pure I am, Shuddha Aham. And that Shuddha Aham is no different from Brahman. That is the Aham Brahmasmi. And therefore, finally, in whichever way you present it, the subject and object come together and they vanish together, you may be done with it. You can do that. That kind of a cold turkey method you can adopt. Okay? Or you can take it this way also, abide as I am. Because the world weighs heavily upon people. It won't vanish, just with dṛśya gone, it won't go. So here is a question. So ākāśavat, here it is coming nirmalākāśavatsadā. When both the subject and object vanish, then what remains is the pure light, and that light is nirguna nishkriya. No gunas, no movement. And now, can you compare it, some comparison, for the sake of understanding? What comparison can be given? So Shankara said in many places, and the same thing he is saying, pure space. It is like there is space in which clouds etc. are there. Now all the clouds are gone. The blue color also is a superimposition on the space. That also you dismiss. Dismiss means in your understanding you dismiss. And what remains is a space, pure, without any kind of conditioning. That alone can be an illustration for the pure awareness, the light of awareness within you. That alone can be given as an illustration. There is no other illustration. Okay? Nirmalākāśavatsadā. Put it. Awareness as space, ākāśavat. This description deeply resonated. Good. Good that you liked that illustration in the question. Suppose you don't like it, then there is no second illustration. Good you liked it, okay? So, and then truly nothing sticks or alters there. Means nothing sticks, nirguna. Nothing alters, nishkriya, good. So, what is one practice to support steady abidance in pure light? That is the question. Steady abidance in every movement of life and any subtle pitfalls to be vigilant about. That is the question. Means the question is about the second line only. That's why I am weaving into the second line. You abide in yourself, which is the pure light of awareness, which is also the being, which is you, the true self. And you need not search for yourself. When you take out all the dross, what remains is you, Shesha. You are the Sheshaha. The dṛśya and the drashta and the drashtru, dṛśya, bheda, and all that paraphernalia that goes with the dṛśya. Dṛśya is not one. Dṛśya is multifarious. Drashta is not one. So many things are attached to the drashta, and you made the drashta into an unshakable entity. Drashta is the guru, drashta is the brahmana, drashta is the rich man. Like that you made that drashta into such a strong thing. It becomes difficult to allow it to go. So what all you have to do is, you should be able to make dṛśya light so that it will vanish. Make drashta light, it will vanish. Making dṛśya light is called vairagya. Making drashta light is called viveka. How to do? So steady abidance. You see, subtle pitfalls, you should be vigilant about subtle pitfalls. You should be. What could be those subtle pitfalls? So, your mind can trick you, I tell you. In spite of so much study of Vedanta and all, your mind can trick you. Your mind can present an enticement or a fear before you. That becomes a pitfall. And so, check what kind of enticements the mind is pulling you into. And be wary of that mind. It can yet trap you. Suppose you have still some greed for money, so mind is trapping you. You may proclaim to the world that I don't care for money, but you may still hold on to, still lingering greed may be there. You need not tell people, you just check, and that can be a pitfall. Once you realize it, you fall only when you don't realize that it is a pit. Once you know it, the pit as a pit, you won't fall. Similarly, fear will be there. This fear, in the old age, there is this fear. People live with fear in the old age. How do you know? Now, I ask you, you want to own a place in a retirement community where all comforts and facilities and insurance and hospitals and ambulance are available at the beck and call. Okay, what is that? Is that not fear? You see, you have to live somewhere. It doesn't matter whether you live, you have to live somewhere. I am not talking about don't live somewhere. That is not why you have to live somewhere. But you allow the fear to overtake you. You are afraid of life. You are afraid of life. You should not be afraid of life. And you should not be afraid of death. You see how the fear can trap, yet after so much of Vedanta, the fear can trap. Suppose a good hospital, a good set of doctors and an ambulance and all facilities and a good insurance, everything is there. Will they make you happy? And there are any number of people in this world without any of them yet happy. You see the enigma or the thing associated here. Therefore, you have to work on this. There are no easy solutions for it. And I don't have any magic formula for it. And somebody says, I have the formula. He is bluffing. No formula. You have to work on. I give you a mantra. The mantra is, life will take care of living. Think about it. And then people talk of bhakti, devotion to God. That is the bhakti. God will take care of life. Okay? So, I came across a story in which one person was searching for God. He started searching in Rajasthan, in Thar desert, and came to the south where it is all green fields and all. The entire landscape of that great country called Bharat. And then, having searched and searched and searched, found, but then he understood that he was deceived and continued the search. And finally, when he arrived in the south, he understood that there is God in man. That is, he says, now I discovered the God in man. In every human being there is God, including yourself. And therefore that God will take care of my life. When God is here, who is living? I am living or God is living? God is living. God is seeing, God is walking, chakshusas chakshuhu, pranasya pranam, etc., vachoha vacham. So, when everything God is doing, when everything God is doing, and what is God only is, then who has to take care of whom? And therefore, so that life will take care of living. God, be devoted to God. You will be taken care. And that is the true devotion. So, some of these things you have to cultivate, and overcome the pitfalls of life. You have to be vigilant about it. You have to be very vigilant about it. So, means vairagya, about the, with reference to the outer thing, vairagya. And then viveka. You see, you look at yourself, there is that small self, which the small self is not an entity, it is a syndrome. It is called me and mine syndrome. It is not an entity. It is just a syndrome. You see, it is something like some psychiatric thing it is. Like obsessive syndrome is something like that. You feel you have some obsession, it's a syndrome. Now, where is the syndrome? It is in the head or in the ears or in the nose. Where is it? You cannot pinpoint it like that. Just some example I gave. You pay attention to that and get rid of it. So this me and mine, we are discussing it in extra prashna also. In syndrome, that is a pitfall that can prevent you from this meditation, this bhavana, that small self. It is there, you check. A Mahatma asked me, so what precautions should I take? He is a sannyasi, and when I die, what precautions about after effects, etc. I think you need not take any precautions. You may. You need not pay much attention to that, you may. Should there be any rituals to be performed after what? After what? After I die? No, you are not going to die. Means there is a self lingering, and it believes that it is living, and it is considering a situation in which it is going to die. Look at that. And so, is there any ritual to be? No. Because a ritual belongs to me and mine. When there is no me and mine, there is no karta bhokta. Mine is bhokta, me is karta. When there is no karta bhokta, there is no ritual. Yes, Swamiji, there is no karta bhokta. Yes, there is no ritual. No, Shodashi. Shodashi is not for the Brahma. You are the Brahma. So, Shodashi, you don't need Shodashi. You see how the trap is operating? And the Swami thinks of Shodashi after he dies. Who will do Shodashi, how to do Shodashi, and so means already the small self is not willing to disappear. It is not willing. That is a pitfall. And there are Mahatmas who have overcome that pitfall, like Ramatirtha, Swami Vivekananda. I can, historically speaking, Swami Ramasukhdasji Maharaj. These are some of the names that I can reel out, in which the me and mine syndrome is totally vanished. It just doesn't exist. Now, whatever is done, some of the followers might have done this or that, but from their vision, in their vision, the way they conducted themselves, the things that they have said about these things show that the small self, me and mine, just doesn't exist. You only take that small important precaution not to separate yourself out of that pure self. Merge in it completely. Yenat yajasi tat yaja. You merge in it completely. That is the bhāvayed. The question is about pitfalls. That's why I have covered that. So the number 2 question is out. So therefore, that is the Atma. Full being, that is what it is. Bhavayet means to contemplate. Nididhyasan karo, nididhyasasva. That is what bhavayet. Okay, here is a question. So, the metaphor Atma in a size of a thumb residing in the guha. That metaphor is there. It is in Kathopanishad. Atma is angushthamatraha purushaha. Madhya Atmani tishtati. Atmani dehe, in the body. The convention is, when you talk of the center of the body, it is the heart, not the navel. Okay? Not the navel. It is the heart. That is the convention. So the Vedic convention. Therefore, in the heart, there is Atma, which is of the size of matra, size. Angushtha matraha. Ma is measurement. So the size of the thumb, it is there like this. Okay? That is the Atma. Now there the Dvaita person says, therefore Atma is limited. That is the, and Shankara says it is not limited. This Angushtha matraha is there. There is a measurement, and therefore it is limited. How can you say it is not limited? It is like ghatakasha. Ghatakasha is small. Mathakasha. Akasha, like that. It is not the Akasha bigger than Akasha. It is Matha bigger than Ghata. Okay? It is not Akasha bigger than Akasha. Because Akasha cannot be bigger than Akasha. Because Akasha is one. One without the second. It has no parts. Now, can you make Akasha bigger than Akasha? You cannot make. You can make water bigger than water. Water in the pond bigger than water in the pot. Because water has parts in it. Water is a material thing. It can be small, it can be big. Akasha is not a material thing. It has no parts in it. Small, big. What is small and big? Small in terms of the parts that are there in it. Big in terms of the parts that are there in it. What is small? 10 liters is small. Million liters big. That is the small and big. Liter must be there. The part must be there. Whereas in Akasha, there is no part. And therefore, you cannot, and Akasha is everywhere. And hence, you cannot have Akasha bigger than Akasha. You can only have Matha bigger than Ghata. But you are making the mistake. Take the Matha bigger than Ghata thing and superimpose it upon Akasha and create a division, one Akasha bigger than the other Akasha. This is the mistake you are doing. That's why ākāśavat. Stop that mistake. That's why it is important to understand that you have to understand a few things, and then you have to visualize them or contemplate upon them carefully. Kshetrajñañcapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So the kshetra is the body, bodies, and then Atma in this body, Atma in that body, Atma in that body, Atma in that body. Atma is God, and it is not multiple Atmas, it is the same Atma. Therefore it is the same God in every one of them, and the same God is in me also. This is how that gentleman discovered God in South. I told you he searched for God, and he discovered God when he came to South, and he said, now I realized God. There is a story like that. And so what is that God? That God, where is that God? The God is in me, but then not in me alone, no. God is in me, the same God is in every other human heart. That is the Angushtamatra Purushaha. Therefore, the God which is there in every heart, and the measurement of the heart is Angushta. That is the measurement of the heart. It is not measurement of God. If it is measurement of God, then it cannot be in every heart, There must be multiple gods. Therefore, it is the measurement of the heart wrongly attached to the God in the heart. And therefore, that is how Angushthamatraha has to be understood, okay? Like when you say Ghatakasha is small, the smallness is not that of Akasha, it is that of Ghata. Similarly, Angushthamatraha Purushaha, the matra, the measurement, is not that of Purusha, it is that of Madhya Atmani Tishtati. It is that of the physical heart. That is the way you have to understand. One Mahatma gave an example. You see, where is so-and-so? Somebody asked on the railway platform, hey, where is that gentleman? You look at him, yeah, there are many people there. You see that yellow shirt wala? Yeah, I can see, he is the person. Now, is the yellow shirt the person? No. Is the yellow shirt the attribute of the person? No. Then what is this yellow shirt? Yellow shirt is called upalakshanam. It is so close to that person, close. There are many other things close to that person. But among many other things, the yellow shirt is the thing close to the person that helps to know the person. Lakhata hai, lakshanam. That is called upalakshanam. You got the point? You should not understand that the yellow shirt is an attribute of the person. Hridaya, Atma, this Angushtha is the similar thing. It is upalakshanam to the Atma inside. Upalakshanam only. It is not dharma or swarupa of the Atma. Therefore, that question is settled. Metaphor of Atma. You got it? That is settled. That is the Atma. In answering that question, we have covered this sentence also. Ātmanyevākhilaṃ. Ekam means vyāpakam Ātmanam. So, nirmalākāśavatsadā. So, bhāvayet. You have to meditate. That is also that you have to meditate. So, even while meditating, the meditation is not an exercise. It is there all through the life. Means, you, as very pertinently asked in that number one question, you have to avoid the pitfalls. And so you are aware of the pitfalls. Dṛśyaṃ. Dṛśyaṃ is enticing you. That is a pitfall, and you are conscious of that. That is meditation. And then the small self, drashta, it is trying to assert itself. That is a pitfall, and you are conscious of that. That is meditation. Therefore, when is the meditation? All through the life. And we have to do meditation all through the life. That becomes difficult. That you may wonder like that. It is not difficult at all. You know why? If it is Hatha Yoga meditation, that if that is the meditation that I am asking you to do, then doing it every day, second time also becomes difficult. That's why I have to say, if possible, at least do one time a day, because it is difficult. And then every day of the week also difficult. Therefore, at least do 3 to 4 times a day, a week. I have to say, these exercise people say like that. Every day do exercise for 30 minutes. And the whole week I have to do at least do 3-4 times a week. And so even if you skip 2-3 days, at least 3-4 days you do it. So this is how Hatha Yoga meditation is. Okay? Suppose whenever you drink coffee, you want good quality, nicely tasting coffee or not. Sometimes it is okay, every time it should be like that. You tell me, every time it should be like that. So to have a nice coffee every time, is it a pain? It is not a pain. It is not. You have to make some arrangement so that you can have a nice coffee every time. Therefore, it is not effort. This meditation, unfortunately, we converted into an effort. And when it has become an effort, therefore, you are burdened by it and it weighs heavily. I have to meditate. So the meditation, if I miss the meditation, you feel guilty about it. You feel guilty, and then you are apprehensive also. Will I be able to do every day like that? You know, some of the gurus, what they do, you go to them, they first ask, what is your name? You tell suppose you say Subbarao. Now he cannot make out whether he is a Brahmana or a Vaishya, he cannot make out. Okay, then he asks, Gotra kya hai? Suppose you say Kashyapa, then he is a Brahmana. Suppose you say Paidipala, then he is not a Brahmana. Okay, now he is a Brahmana. Then you know what he will do? He takes out a Shivalinga. He has a big basket of Shivalingas. Some 200 Shivas are sitting there. And he takes one of them. They all came from Kashi. If you go to Kashi, you will find them. And he gives one of them and says, worship daily, he says. And you feel blessed. Oh God, Mahatma gave me Shivalinga, and you are very devoted and you bring home. And after 1 week, you will understand that blessing. The first 1 week will be over, then you are stuck with it. Now there are people who want to get rid of it. And now they are afraid. How to get rid of it? They went to a local temple and asked the priest. He said, I don't know, please go. He is afraid himself. No, you put in the temple. We should not put in the temple. We have enough Shivas in the temple. We don't want your Shiva. You keep your Shiva yourself. Therefore, don't worry that this meditation is something like that. It is not effort. In fact, it is effortlessness. Okay? I ask you one thing. Suppose I sit here, my car became old, and I have to, already its repair costs are mounting, and I have to get rid of it and get a new car, I am thinking. Okay? Versus, I just remain quiet. The body is sitting upright and the mind is quiet, and I am abiding in myself. I am. 2 minutes that, 2 minutes this. In these, now you compare. Which is more stressful in these two? Now you understand. Shankara says in Mandukya Bhashya Upodghata, the more you think of the dṛśyaṃ, the mind is the subject, always engaged with the object, that is the content of the mind. And the mind goes on thinking, that is the movement, it is in flux, constantly moving. This is how the mind gets very much tired, it gets worn out, it becomes tired, and you are identified with the mind, and therefore all the tiredness, it is upon you now. And why you want to sleep? In sleep, the mind doesn't think. Therefore, the mind, and then following the mind, the organs and the body, everything gets refreshed and rejuvenated. Therefore, the meditation, the bhavana, it refreshes you, rejuvenates you. It doesn't tires you, it doesn't wears you out. It doesn't wear you out. That way you have to understand meditation. If you do not understand meditation properly, then it becomes like giving a Shivalinga and start worshipping it. It becomes something like that. It becomes a burden to you. Therefore, meditation is not an effort here. It is effortlessness. Bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. That is, he is saying it a second time. Earlier Vakya also he said bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. the verse I have completed earlier, that is also the same bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ. Therefore, in meditation of this kind, this meditation, I tell you, it is nothing but being alert. Be alert. That is meditation. Okay? Suppose you are stepping out in those days of virus days, you are stepping out. Hey, where is my mask? You look for it and put it and step out. That is meditation. Because you are alert. That is meditation. Now it is time to eat food. You notice that you need to wash. That is meditation. That alertness. Now what is the absence of meditation? You step out without mask. Somebody points out, hey, you come out without mask. You don't wash your hand and eat, and then notice that there is something silly thing. That is the absence of meditation. Now what is the problem in that? Be alert. Alert is your very nature. So you need not even make some effort to acquire alertness. Alertness is you. Forgetfulness has come upon you. You have to push it away. That is meditation. Why I am saying all this? Because I want to point out that the meditation that we are talking, bhavayet, you have to do meditation. In that there is no compulsion. There is no effort. It is effortlessness. You think of the world, that is effort. You desire things of the world, that is effort. You procure things of the world, that is effort. Should I say that? That you know that very well. Procuring is effort. But that effort, procuring effort, started from the effort in the form of desiring. That is effort. And then fear is effort. Efforts to overcome the fear is effort. All this effort wears you out. This is called samsara bandhaha, bondage of samsara. And now you want to step out of the samsara and then take on another effort on the head, take another effort on the head. That is counterproductive, self-defeating thing it is. Therefore, in meditation, there is no effort. You have to understand that. No, there is some other meditation in which there is effort. Okay, let it be, but this is not that kind of meditation. Because if there is any kind of compulsion, if there is an effort to make the thought to conform, now thought is the subject, thing is the object, rise above thought and the object, rise above dṛśyaṃ and dṛśya. That is what we are saying. We are not asking the thought to conform. How to conform? O thought, you don't think of this object, you think of that object. That is the conformity, that is effort, that is compulsion. Therefore, if there is any kind of compulsion, that is not meditation. If there is an effort to make thought to conform, that is hatha yoga. The thought should conform, that becomes effort. And then, what do you mean by conform? What do you do? When you make thought to conform, what is it that you do? You want thought to imitate. That is what it is. So, conforming is imitating. People forget one thing, and if you point out, they feel bad about it. This is the problem. So, they say we are traditional people. Good, you are a traditional person. Do you know what is tradition? Tradition is imitation. Therefore, you are imitational people. Then they become angry. Is it not imitation? What do you mean by tradition? It is imitation. Somebody did something, you do the same thing and call it tradition. And if I say imitation, you become unhappy. What is this? Therefore, if you convert the meditation into any of that, compulsion, effort to conform, effort to imitate, then that meditation becomes a wearisome burden. That is not the meditation which we are talking. Nirmalākāśavatsadā. Here there is silence. What is the silence? The noise of dṛśyaṃ, 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 that noise has subsided. Dṛśya is noise, dṛśya is also noise. Dṛśya, you think of a car or something else, that becomes noise. Dṛśya, I am this, I am that, I have to become this, I am ambition, that is also noise. Therefore, when there is silence, means the noise of dṛśya, dṛśya, it subsides. Okay? Then that silence is the pure Atma. That is the pure Atma. Therefore, you should not make that silence into a goal. Suppose you make it a goal, then you have introduced the element of seeking, pursuing, putting in effort, and also that is one thing. You also have introduced the element of the other. Goal is the other. And that is second problem. Third problem, you have introduced the element of time. So don't do any of these mistakes. It is not a goal. It is not to be accomplished in something to be accomplished in time. It is not something to be reached. It is not something to be searched for. But sometimes the language could be used. When you are caught in the world, why you lose yourself in the world, search for your own soul. That kind of a language can be used. But ultimately, that expression, those expressions are only upalakshana. They are only aimed at putting your attention in the right direction. Therefore, here, the silence that comes is not enforced silence. It is normal, natural, effortless, inner silence in which you are not there. Suppose you are there, then you will make it the other. Here I am and this is the silence. So you lose yourself. So that silence illuminates. It is illuminating silence. You realize your true self, that silence. But suppose in the name of meditation, you are pursuing a vision. Because meditation, that's why I am pointing out, you pursue a vision. Or you are looking for some special experience when you will feel ecstatic, this and that. So that kind of silence, in which through silence you want to accomplish visions, etc., that is not meditation, that is hypnosis, self-hypnosis. Why self-hypnosis? Because you may end up with the vision, that's why. The mind can indeed oblige you. I want to have the vision of Hanuman. Then the mind obliges you. You end up having the vision of Hanuman. You think you are blessed. You are not blessed. You are in trouble now. Therefore, that silence is, that inner silence, unimposed, unsought, unenforced, natural, effortless, which is none other than your own pure being, which is the inner light of awareness, that is the Atma, and you merge yourself in it, you lose yourself in it, you are not there in that. It is not the silence in which you are, it is the silence in which you don't exist. You merge in that silence and be in that silence. Just be in that silence. Do that. In doing so, you will realize your Swarupa. That is all that I can explain about it. Let us finish that statement. Ekam, one, pervading, Atmanam, the true self, Sada, always, nirmalākāśavatsadā, like the pure space, bhāvayed, one has to contemplate. This is only second class, a lot more classes are there, we'll continue. ātmanyevākhilaṃ dṛśyaṃ, pravilāpya dhiyā sudhīḥ, bhāvayedekamātmānaṃ, nirmalākāśavatsadā. Here is a question. How to watch the breath? There is no how. There is no how. You can ask the question how when it is an action. How to put this table from here to there? There can be a how. How to walk upstairs? There can be a how. If it is an effort, if it is an action or effort, how is always there. But suppose you are all keeping the eyes open. See this, suppose I say. So there is no how to see this. There is no how. There is no how, because seeing is not an action. Watching is seeing. See this. How? There is no how. Then watch it. There is no how. Therefore, close the eyes. Close the eyes is not how. Some preparation it is. Closing the eyes is not how. Close the eyes so that other things will not distract you. Close the eyes. Then just be aware of, don't be aware of so many other things. Because if you close the eyes and go on thinking, that doesn't work. Close the eyes. Stop thinking about anything else. Allow the mind to take rest. Allow it to become silent. And then be aware of the breath. Being aware of the breath is same as watching the breath. One and the same. There is no difference between the two. Therefore, there is no how in it. But you do it. Do it means it's an expression. It is not a doing, but still it's an expression. Just watch the breath. It will do you a load of good. We'll come to it when the context comes. Continue to watch the breath. That will be very helpful. Okay? So that is the question number 7 pulled out, and other questions we will come back. Om Purnamadaః Purnamidam